here in North Carolina. Take a look at the standings as they looked coming into today. We've already had two early games go final, including a big matchup between UConn and Cincinnati. Huskies able to hold off the Bearcats by 10, snapping that 5-game winning streak for the Bearcats. UConn now 8-0. Cincinnati drops to 6-3. That means Tulane right now, tied for that 4th spot, is in the hunt there among those 3 lost teams. We welcome you in here on the American Digital Network. Lincoln Rose along with Angela Beck, and so of course we know about Tulane and what they hope to achieve with a top 4 seed in the conference tournament next month. But how does ECU start to build some momentum? A big opportunity for both these teams here today.
Well, ECU needs to come out and play the kind of defense they played against UCF. They were smothering, they were tough, and they can do that, and they need to get some balanced scoring. I think Tulane has a little pep in their step because they won the overtime against Memphis, but they want to stay in the top half of the conference, and they need a win tonight to make that happen.
Let's break down specifically your keys to this matchup. First up for the Green Wave.
Well, they have to attack in transition. They got to rebound the basketball like they did the first time they matched up and limit their turnovers today.
As for the home team, Pirates, last time we saw them, they were in overtime earlier last month, I guess now, as they pushed UCF. How do they put up a fight today against Tulane?
Well, they just have to be aggressive. They were very aggressive in the latter part of the 4th quarter of that game. They need to be aggressive throughout this whole game, and they got to make some shots and handle the pressure that they're going to see from Tulane.
For Tulane, as they're on the road today, they'll look to lean on a senior in Tatiana Lofton.
Well, Tatiana Lofton comes off the bench for them most of the year, but she's been injecting some great offense to them. She took them into overtime against Memphis. She scored 17 points and actually hit the 3-pointer that helped them seal the deal.
That was a career high 17 for her in that overtime win. And for the Pirates, well, when you talk ECU, you talk about their defense, and of course leading the way is LaShonda Monk.
Well, Monk, she's one of the reasons they're a good defensive team because she can steal it 4 times a game, and that's a record in our conference. She's 7th in scoring at 13.4 points, and she had 17 points the other night against Wichita in the loss that they had.
She filled up the box score the last meeting against Tulane in that conference opener. They'll need even more from her here today if they can pick up a victory at home. Pirates back in Greenville, welcoming to town the Green Wave of Tulane. Opening tip next.
When everything's a little different, one thing remains the same: the chance to make a real difference. Because the norm here is anything but. Every day our volume grows, every moment a bit more colorful than the last. From a city that's 300 years old, we inspire things that are entirely new. Because that's what creates the change the world desperately needs.
There's a lot to do out there. You can either talk about it, or you can do something about it. At ECU, we choose to do things. And we can help you do just about anything. Come here to keep hometowns thriving, hearts beating, or make waves across the world. Wherever you're headed, this ship can get you there. With 30,000 of us doing so much, you won't find anyone sitting around. You ready?
Introductions underway in Greenville as, again, the Pirates welcome to town the Green Wave. The Pirates, of course, coming off a road swing at Temple, at Wichita State. 10-point loss on the road in Kansas. We take a look at the starting lineup. Again, for this Pirates group, we know what Monk provides defensively, but they're going to need someone like Ariana Williams to be able to catch fire.
Well, exactly, and everyone's really got to come in, and only 2 players in double digits, so they got to get more out of the guys that only averaging like 5 points a game. They've got to get 10 points tonight.
For Tulane, of course, Crystal Freeman, a known quantity, as she was able to pull in the double-double against Memphis, had that game-tying layup to force overtime. Last time she met ECU, put up 20 rebounds, 10 on the offensive glass, 10 on the defense, to give Tulane some second chance opportunities.
It'll be interesting to see what they do to her and what kind of matchup happens there.
Again, festivities still underway as Pirates being introduced. Take a look at our matchups remaining. Today is our 10th game already here on the American Digital Network covering this season of American women's basketball. And so we say farewell to January. We usher in February today on this Groundhog's Day. But looking ahead, we head to Tulsa for the midweek clash next weekend back here in Greenville. Additional trips to Memphis, Tulane, and Dallas.
Yeah, I think really no big surprises. Maybe Cincinnati's a little bit of a surprise, sitting where they're at, but it's been a great 10 games so far.
Again, Lincoln Rose, Angela Beck with you, and for the first time today, chance to check in with Marilyn Payne courtside. Marilyn?
East Carolina back at home with a 10-10 record, just one AAC win, but this home court record is 8-3. A very stingy defense is what helps the East Carolina Pirates win the games they do win. They force more than 22 turnovers per game on average and more than 12 steals. They will have the advantage today of not having Tulane's backup point guard, Erin Gutierrez, here. She had flu-like symptoms, so a ball handler missing already for the visitors here today.
Thank you for the update again. Erin, a freshman who has played in every ball game of her young career so far. Pirates looking to strike early. This is our Play for K game here in Greenville. We'll have more on that, but you see both teams certainly getting involved. Lisa Stockton there with the pink sweater and her team wearing the road pink uniforms. Of course, Play for K, largest fundraising initiative under the K-Yow Cancer Fund. Started back in 2007. The K-Yow Cancer Fund has since awarded over $7.5 million to support scientific research, projects that serve underserved and all cancers affecting women. I have a little bit more on that here in the opening quarter, as Tulane with an opportunity to strike first. A little 16-footer on the pull-up won't go down for Anderson. And that's a nice start for ECU. The stroke from beyond three from the aforementioned Williams.
Well, they're always better when Williams is hitting her jumper from three. Tulane has one of the best defensive teams on the three-point line. They hold everybody to 22% out there, so they're going to have their challenges tonight extending on her.
Williams, the sophomore, put up 15 in the loss against Tulane, and she hits back-to-back.
Well, that's a bad sign for Tulane coming out, because that's exactly what they did not want to have happen, is have them get open threes.
They say both feet behind the line on that last one. A 6-0 start now for the Pirates. Tulane, a couple of one-and-dones early on. And unable to save that one. A tough start for the Green Wave here as they head east to Greenville. This is after that one-point win in overtime at Memphis.
Yeah, they had 3 losses prior to that. They really have not been playing their best basketball right now, and I thought maybe that little win at overtime, they've won both overtime games they've had. Well,
her name is Ariana Williams, the sophomore, a 30% shooter from downtown, has hit her first 3. Welcome back home to the Pirates.
Well, Coach, she can't understand that.
That's a 9-0 start. Lisa Stockton wants a timeout to talk things over. We step aside here on the American Digital Network.
Well, here she is. She just sets her feet, and she's got a great follow-through and a touch on it.
At the American, we know that power isn't for the faint of heart. Power is reserved for the go-getters, the team players, and those who are hungry for victory. We know power because we are power. Join us for the 2019 American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, March 8th through the 11th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut.
Scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
Dominance for a 4th straight year. Quaso from 30!
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is the means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with one drop.
Change starts with one person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Well, Lisa Stockton, when they were back in New Orleans in the conference opener against these Pirates, saw her Tulane defense only give up 9 points in the entire opening quarter. She has all of a sudden today seen the defense give up an early 9 points, all on triples from Williams. Of course, she surpassed 500 career wins earlier this year. Talk about those 18 postseason appearances, 11 to the NCAA tournament as recently as 2015. A couple of recent trips to the WNIT, 7 in total. All of Tulane's postseason coming under her watch in these 25 years as head coach of Tulane. So I mentioned Ariana Williams already, 9 points here, and you reminded me during the break, Tulane nationally is ranked as one of the stingiest defenses when it comes to giving up three-pointers. They're 5th in the country, allowing just 24% from downtown. But if you're acting head coach Nicole Mealing, you have to be thrilled. First-year head coach for the Pirates, taking over the reins with the new year.
Well, it's always easier to win when you hit your shots, but I was shocked how they didn't come off the pick and maybe switch it on her. So let's see what they do now that they come back and how they play her.
And another turnover. That is not what Lisa Stockton's looking for coming out of the timeout. And a walk called back over as they trade turnovers here early on.
Tulane really hasn't even gotten in their offense, I don't think, one set yet here. So let's see if they let them get here past half court. They pick them up extremely high.
Kayla Anderson, again, your sophomore point guard. The first time that Lisa Stockton's seen her players vote for a sophomore to be their captain. As that rebound finds its way to Raven Johnson.
Well, that was an outstanding move that time by Monk. She went and just kind of stutter-stepped and acted like she wasn't going to go, and then she turned on her jets and went straight to the hole.
DeShonda Monk, same hometown as the opposing head coach Lisa Stockton, Greensboro, North Carolina. Monk, a 75% free throw shooter. Her outing in that conference opener was brilliant. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, and yes, 5 steals. Ultimately would not be enough for the win in that opener, but right now still steadily over 4 steals per ball game.
Well, she was phenomenal, and it was sad, although, you know, they lost the game. I think they won a lot of people's respect the way they played that game and how hard they played.
Three-pointer doesn't go down for Dinah Jones out in New Orleans. Fresh shot clock here with the offensive rebound. Sierra Cheatham, the Houston product. Oh, nice hesitation drive, creates the open look. Nice offensive possession there for Tulane, and it ends with Crystal Freeman banking it through.
Well, ECU's switching all screens, and that time Monk got caught up and didn't switch, and her man got open. So that was a poor defensive effort there.
Freeman's now made all 21 starts this year. Williams, a little heat check, is 4 for 4.
Right in front of Coach Stockton. I mean, she was at NBA range.
What a start. 13-2 right now. ECU, of course, had the first 9 points of this one. Not even midway through the opening quarter.
Yeah, here Williams just gets her feet set. She has a very quick release. And she, you know, it's, that's a tough foul, if that's a foul there on Monk. That's kind of just not a good foul because she's so far away from the basket. She wasn't going to be able to score there anyway, so it's not something you really want to do.
I don't think Tulane was expecting this start Even if they were slow on offense, ECU's been red hot. That's a long two. As again, they'll need a big day from Crystal Freeman, the sophomore. Really, Crystal last year, minimum playing time as a freshman. Really been one of the pleasant surprises this year as she goes up to get that rebound. Remember, she had 20 of them in the conference opener against ECU. And they do call the trip there on Monk.
I think it's a little kick ball. Yeah, so what Tulane needs to do is just what they did that series there, is drive the basket to the hole, because, you know, the ball to the hole, because they're playing pressure denial defense, ECU is, and there's a lot of lanes open, and they can attack that glass a lot better.
Looking for a three of their own. That one off the mark from Cheatham. But another offensive rebound here for Tulane. Back within single digits midway through the opening quarter. Draws three defenders, and Williams chimes in on the defensive end as well. A transition opportunity as Alex Frazier led the way up. Frazier now will reset the offense. And Williams, it's still a good outing for Williams. That's her first miss. She was 4 for 4. That one a couple feet shy.
Well, I'm not mad about that. I mean, I'm gonna let her take that all day, the way she's stroking it. I don't know if it's her hair though. I got to comment on the hair. If it keeps her more balanced or something, it's like a honey bun, you know.
Again, both teams sporting some pink. ECU with the socks. Tulane going all out with their play for K gear. Opportunity along that baseline. Crystal Freeman slows down defensively. Nice job forcing her to slam the brakes. Desiree Corbin for a moment had to stop, but more second chance points now for the Green Wave. They're back within 7.
Well, that's Crystal Freeman. That's what she does for her team, is offensive rebound and put it back, and that's big.
First quarter underway here, inside 4 minutes to go. Again, this was your conference opener back on January 5th in New Orleans. Long two along the baseline, good.
Alex Frazier has added that to her repertoire, that little jump shot, about 16-foot jump shot. She didn't have that last year, and she's really expanded her game.
Frazier's the only player on the roster that was a Pirate 3 years ago. In other words, you're only fourth-year senior on this roster. A lot of turnover, obviously change on that bench with the coaches as well that we can dive into a little bit later on throughout the broadcast as time permits. Of course, your acting head coach is Nicole Mueling, who started her time at ECU as simply the video coordinator, not an official coaching role, but has slowly moved down to the final chair on the bench.
Yeah, I don't think it's very often the video coordinator gets the head coaching job in that sequence. So obviously, you know, she spent a lot of years there too and was an assistant, but she obviously has the pedigree.
Lisa Stockton, who played her college ball over at Wake Forest. 28 years overall now as a head coach, past quarter century at Tulane. Well, a slow start for Tulane, still trying to overcome the early 10-0 run to start the ball game from ECU. Most of that with Williams connecting on the 3 ball. She's hit 4 today. Crystal Freeman denied from Justice G. And stepping out of bounds is G. Nice defense, forcing her that direction. I believe it was Lofton.
Well, she comes in as a defensive stopper, and that's right there what she did. She put the stop on her.
I'll just mutter under my breath, Justice's serve. As right now, Tulane gets the ball back after the turnover. And nice finish, confident drive to the glass from Lofton. She helped force the turnover, winds up with the 2 points. Remember, she's coming off a career-high 17 against Memphis in that overtime victory, 62-61, a few nights back.
Yeah, the difference is she's getting more touches. The more touches, I think she had 12 touches, and if you can get some more touches, you can score some more points.
We talked about ECU's defense. Offense has showed up today. Alex Frazier. Final 2 minutes of the opening quarter here in Greenville. Freeman one-on-one. And that's an advantage for her just about every time.
Yeah, it's a big mismatch on them. Frazier can't guard her down low. That was a good no call by the official.
Freeman 4 double-doubles this year. Off to a nice start. Little 13-foot turnaround, able to get that one to drop through. A little offensive renaissance for the Pirates. Destiny Campbell, the second-year senior.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the best scoring average that they've had at 64% right now from the field.
Well, Tulane back within 5. How will this opening quarter close out in Greenville?
They mixed it up. They've been playing a 2-3 zone. Now they're in a 1-3-1. They played man-to-man, so they do want to keep mixing their defenses to keep them off kilter.
Campbell gives the ball up. That one goes halfway down for Frazier. Offensive putback courtesy of Salida Green.
Well, Salida Green, she's tough. I mean, she just put that power dribble down and put it right under the reverse.
Senior spent her first couple of years at Richmond, and the no-look behind-the-back pass. So it'll be a turnover for Tulane as the deficit back to 7.
Yeah, I prefer the behind-the-back pass to go when you're up 21-14, not when you're down. So that's not a good pass right there.
Pirates a chance to grow this advantage. Their largest lead, 11. Both of these teams have been on fire despite that turnover from Tulane. Tulane's made their last 3 shots. Pirates have made 4 of their last 5. G, your former state player of the year in Class A. Able to work it inside again to another North Carolina native. Back into Salida Green.
That was a good called set and great execution.
Tulane has brought in Mia Hyde, the 6'3" freshman. Try to help them out on the glass. And they'll find the final points, but ECU started off on a 10-0 run, the rematch of the conference opener, and Pirates with the adjustments that they need for the 9-point advantage. So once again, here in Greenville, Pirates welcoming to town the Green Wave, and our chance to welcome back in Marilyn Payne.
East Carolina leading 23-16 against Tulane at this first quarter break. And Lisa Stockton, despite all of ECU's 3-point shooting, was most frustrated with her Tulane offense. She told her team throughout the first quarter, we've got to get set and do what we are supposed to do on offense much faster. They're taking too long to get their shots set up. As for Lisa Stockton, she's in her 25th season as the head coach of Tulane. If you're watching with us on the ADN Facebook page, let me know, what do you think her first win with Tulane was? When was it, and who was it against? Stockton now has more than 500 career wins with Tulane. And while you're at it, let us know where you're watching this broadcast from. This is your opportunity at home to rep where you stay. Lisa Stockton, a North Carolina native, but this North Carolina ECU team leading at the first quarter break.
Marilyn, thank you again. We'll hear from her throughout the broadcast with a variety of trivia that you can chime in with on the Facebook page. Right now, Pirates up going into the second quarter, 23-16.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle, a big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
student-athletes,
coaches, and team representatives. Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
Profanities or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
This is our game, our moment, our time. We work hard and play harder. We stay loyal to the game and to our team. We are power, American power. The American, powered by determination.
Well, a 12-point opening quarter, including 4 triples for Ariana Williams, the sophomore. And Tulane was able to trim an 11-point deficit down to 5. Enters the second quarter down by 7. Lincoln Rose, Angela Beck, Marilyn Payne with you here on the American Digital Network as we get underway with quarter number 2. Again, Hyde, the freshman out of Austin, Texas. They bring her in for her size at 6'3", making her 21st appearance off the bench this year. And another turnover here for Tulane.
Well, I'm going to credit ECU's defense. They're switching things up, and I think it's taking Tulane a little bit out of their rhythm, and it's frustrating them a little bit, and that's why coach is irritated at them.
Called the turnover on Kayla Manuitirungi, the junior out of New Zealand. Frazier has to all of a sudden feel like she has some great options out there. A lot of hot hands. See whom she deals to next. Frazier will keep it herself. And a rebound to Lofton.
That wasn't a good offensive set there. She just dribbled around and then threw an air ball up. So more passing, more cutting. There's not enough player movement right now for ECU.
Freeman with 14 points on 7 of 8 shooting in that opening quarter. Already 4 rebounds in her 11 minutes. She's matched up right now with Destiny Campbell. And only the iron getting in the way there. Lofton.
I think one of the best defenses for ECU has been that 3/4 court press, and I'd like to see that come sometime in this first half, because that's where they can really make it a game changer.
Those 4 3-pointers from Williams, again, they're 4 for 5 as a team. She's 4 for 5 individually. And now it's a bit of a shock to the system. That is one area where Tulane's been able to hang their hat as a shot clock violation, G off the mark.
Well, one of the things that ECU doesn't want to do is get complacent here. That was 2 series down in a row where they really had a poor offensive set. And that if you let Tulane come back, Crystal Freeman, she's starting to get her groove on. She's 7 of 8. She's got 14 points already.
This is Dinah Jones, the freshman. Back to Manuitirungi. Tulane shooting 44% and a nice stroke from straight away. As Jones able to connect on that one. She's from John Curtis out of New Orleans. Getting about 7 points a ball game in her first year as a member of the Green Wave. And Crystal Freeman trying to do it all, unable to take the charge that time.
Yeah, she held her a little bit.
I said take the charge, obviously. Tried to slow her down with the hold. Oh, great split decision from Campbell, but they just can't take advantage. The freshman. Dinah Jones, plenty of confidence, but it'll come away empty-handed. ECU's lead down to 5. And a 15-footer on the mark from Alex Frazier.
Once again, that's Alex Frazier's shot. She likes that little short jumper where she can elevate high and get the high arcer in there, and she's pretty good at it.
Each team with a pair of points to get this second quarter started. And Tulane yet another turnover. And a 5th turnover of the ball game for the visiting team. First 4 have led to 5 points for ECU. We'll halt play and our familiar officiating crew getting some pretty good, I would imagine, mileage perks for flying around this time of year.
Oh, yeah.
Williams, 4 for 5 from beyond the arc. Right now staying glued to her. Kayla Anderson defensively. She'll switch off. Hand in the face from Jones. And Jones with the rebound. But guess what? Pirates, they'll pick your pocket. 2 points off the defensive effort from ECU.
Well, I like the energy that G brings onto the team. That's just good effort by her. She accelerated, she got the steal, she pushed the transition. She's doing a lot of good things for him.
LaShonda not on the court right now, and so her teammates trying to fill that void. Plucking some away from Tulane.
Well, here G just picks her pocket. Pushes it in transition. Look at that speed. And then that's a good finish.
Freeman shooting a pair of free throws. So we mentioned, obviously, with the pink, this is your Play for K game. As part of the Play for K National Free Throw Challenge, fans have the opportunity to pledge per free throw made by their favorite team throughout this month of February. To learn more, you can head over to kyao.com. Again, of course, we lost Kay Yao in 2009, back in January of that year, former Olympic gold winning coach and Naismith Hall of Fame coach. She was diagnosed, some folks overlooked this, in 1987. We got to keep her around for almost another 22 years as a survivor.
Yep, it was, you know, just watching her throughout that. She didn't lose her battle to cancer. She turned it back over to us, and it's alive and it's well, and she's saving people's lives as we speak. It's
an effort obviously embraced throughout the basketball community. Tulane wearing the all pink on the road. You see the pink accessories for ECU. ECU still with a 2-score advantage. Make it 3-score advantage right now, up by 8. Midway through the second quarter. Able to collect, and the finish from Salita Green.
Well, Salita Green came to play today. That's a great take. It just seems like Tulane's just a little flat. I don't see any tenacity on their defense.
And Lisa Stockton right now, she's hurt Tulane squad, certainly with some struggles, but ECU clicking on just about every cylinder. ECU has led ever since the very first Williams three-pointer. And that one won't go down for Campbell, but another offensive rebound and then out of bounds. As they'll help her out of row number 2. .444 to go until halftime in Greenville. And with a 10-point lead for the Pirates, let's toss things back to Maryland.
East Carolina, as I mentioned earlier, is a team best known for its defense. LaShonda Monk, the sophomore, paces that defense regularly with both steals per game as well as turnovers forced. But today she's nearly absent to this point in the stat sheet. Just 1 point and no steals. But I have a question for those of you watching this at home, this ADN broadcast on our Facebook page. Is LaShonda Monk better in national rankings with steals per game or steals overall? She's a top 5 leader in the country in both categories, but let us know what you think. Is she better with overall steals or steals per game?
We'll have the answer to the first trivia question about Lisa Stockton's first ever win with Tulane when we come back.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is the means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with one drop.
Change starts with one person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Powerful minds, strong in mind, strong in body. The American is dedicated to promoting success
through a healthy, powerful mind.
If it is okay to seek help
for injuries we can see,
then it needs to be okay to seek help for injuries we can't see. Mental health awareness is important because I think a lot of times it goes unnoticed in college athletics.
We look after our bodies, and it's just as important to look after our mental health.
It's time to end the stigma
related to mental health
and seeking help. End the stigma.
Midway through the second quarter, a double-digit advantage once again for the Pirates. They've led by as many as 10. Again, Tulane is still trying to get out of the hole that was created when they surrendered 4 triples in that opening quarter from a red-hot Ariana Williams.
Well, she came out hot, but so did the entire team. They shot 66% from three-point range and just really set some pick and rolls and then distributed the ball well. And anytime you do that, good things happen.
Williams now 4 for 5 for the ball game. You see the current trivia question, which category is LaShonda Monk ranked higher in total steals or steals per game, one of the best in the country in both. And to do a little house cleaning and give you that answer to the first trivia question about Lisa Stockton in the midst of her 25th year. Her first win with Tulane back November 25th, 1994, 75-67, as that one for her against Southern Utah as part of the Coors Rocky Mountain Invite in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
So the surprising thing right now is ECU has 29 points off their bench. And that's only 2 points for Tulane. And you expect Tulane to have points off bench, and you really didn't expect ECU to do that. Tulane does have 14 points in the paint, but they need to go more to Freeman because she's hot. I mean, every time she touches the ball, she scores. So she really isn't touching it in their offense at this point.
ECU did actually manage to outscore Tulane in that conference opener in terms of points off the bench. And, well, one reason why Ariana Williams was on that bench, 15 points. She hit 5 triples in that ball game, was 5 of 11. There's just something about seeing, whether it be the angry wave, the green wave, or today the pink wave.
Exactly.
Inside to Campbell. She'll get another bite at the apple, perhaps.
Well, ECU has found out that the middle of that zone is soft, and they are getting it there. They're just not hitting that, like, 6-foot shot.
LaShonda Monk, again, not on the court right now. Her minutes being limited because of 2 fouls here in the opening half. The only player for either team with multiple fouls. And this will stay here.
That's a great tip ball right there. I'll tell you what, the battle on the boards, you might have given it to Tulane coming in, but it's dead even. And ECU has really kept themselves, you know, in the lead by pounding the offensive glass. I like that they're not just jacking it up. They're showing some discipline here with the 10-point lead.
Again to Campbell. 10-footer good.
Yeah, that shot's there all day, and that was a good take.
Campbell out of Scotland. Spent a couple of years at Cape Fear Junior College before arriving on campus at ECU, now in her senior campaign. And you see the stroke from Sierra Cheatham.
Well, they desperately needed that shot. That's the first 3-pointer for the game for them.
And ECU unable to stretch the lead back to double digits. Can Tulane go on a run here to close out the opening half? They have trailed ever since the first William trifecta.
Well, hey, credit Frazier there, the point guard, guarding Crystal Freeman and making her shoot a fade.
Freeman still stuck on the 15 points she had early on. Clock down to single digits here for the Pirates. A triple team clamping down on Campbell. Little spin off the glass, won't go for Green. One-on-one.
Yeah, just a little flat there. They're shooting kind of on a fade away from the basket instead of putting their shoulder into it. I'd like to see them face up and get it to the hole.
Lisa Stockton trying a few things. That was Madison Wells, the junior, making her 8th appearance on the year.
She's trying to give ECU a little taste of their own medicine by extending their defense, and it actually is pretty effective. They're getting them to shoot a little faster than they want to.
Nicole Hope, no. Long rebound. Second chance points from Alex Frazier.
I think Alex Frazier has a lot of confidence in this game. She really feels, you can tell she feels it.
8 points for Frazier and an offensive foul on the opposite end. Pirates are going to get it back with an 11-point lead.
That's Frazier again sacrificing her body for the good of the team. She gets in here, just slides down, gets her feet set.
Able to take the charge against Sierra Cheatham. See there again, acting head coach. I'm just going to refer to her as head coach. Nicole Mealing is in charge in Greenville, 7th year on the staff. Again, they brought in a first-year assistant during the offseason in Chad Killinger. Illness forced him to step away from the interim role in October. And so, or I should say, after taking over in October, he had to step away in December. They're glad to have him back in his experience. But Nicole Mealing is your head coach for the Pirates for the rest of this campaign. And that 15-footer off the mark from Freeman. Mealing played for Heather Macy back at Francis Marion. A little bit of a pipeline there.
Yeah, she said that she's been real supportive of her, and that's what you need in order to have a good transition from one coach to the next and keep your players happy.
Interestingly enough, their new video coordinator, Ebony Fields, also from Francis Marion, filling the role that Nicole Mealing was hired for 7 years ago.
Well, there Williams' second miss of the game from three-point range, but she follows her shot and gets in there and, muscles it out and gives them another opportunity.
ECU has been able to, again, reestablish this double-digit lead as Tulane has just made one of their last 8 shots. And a chance to grow it here. Pirates have led by as many as 12. And with the shot clock off, they can hold for the final look. Stick around at halftime. Marilyn Payne will have a chance to talk to Nicole Mealing and Lisa Stockton on either side of the halftime break. And they'll say last touch by Tulane. Stays here with just inside 3 ticks on the clock.
Yeah, they were looking for Green off a little slip screen, but Tulane read that well.
ECU only giving up 6 points this quarter to the Green Wave.
They got to get it up.
Williams. Well, you knew it was her day if that had gone down. Pirates will have to be content with a 10-point lead. They trailed by double digits in the conference opener last time they met the Green Wave. So again, in a moment, we'll hear from ECU head coach Nicole Mealing, get her thoughts on the first half. As she is with Maryland, let's check in with those two.
Yeah, Coach Mealing here with me. What is it about Tulane's defense that allows Ariana Williams to have the games that she's had this season against them from the three-point line?
They're in that zone, and I think Ariana just found a good, she just found her rhythm, really. She found her rhythm. She's getting the shots that we want her to take, and she's taking and making them today.
15 points, all on threes, the first meeting against the Green Wave. Is she a player who came into this week knowing what she was going to get, and how has that fueled what we've seen on this court?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time just in the scouting report, just going over their defense with her. So she knew the shots that she was going to get. She came in and she executed for us early on in the game.
All right, the team with an 11-point lead here at the half. What has to happen for this to hold to the final buzzer?
We got to contain 23, Crystal Freeman. We got to do a really good job of this half of just containing her. I know she had 14 of their 16 points at one
stretch during the game. So we just got to do a better job of just containing her and rebounding. We got to rebound and continue to get those 50-50 balls.
All right, thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Marilyn, thank you. Great to hear from Coach Mealing. We'll hear from Coach Stockton right before the start of the third quarter. They did hold Freeman to just one additional free throw down the stretch. Pirates doing a lot of good things here on Groundhog's Day. They'll try to repeat it when the second half rolls around. We'll take a look at some conference news when we return.
When everything's a little different, one thing remains the same: the chance to make a real difference. Because the norm here is anything but. Every day our volume grows, every moment a bit more colorful than the last. From a city that's 300 years old, we inspire things that are entirely new. Because that's what creates the change the world desperately needs.
My dream is probably to go back to New Zealand and create a basketball academy. Growing up, I didn't really have a pathway to get to college, and that was always my dream. So to create a pathway for younger kids to get to America with aspiring dreams. So when I represented my country, New Zealand, I would have the same feeling when I put the Tulane jersey on. It's just a lot of honor, and realizing that people that came before you, that the hard work that they put in to wear this jersey is a huge honor, so you have to wear it with pride.
What emoji do you use the most?
Laughy face.
What emoji describes you the best?
I hope laughy face. I love to sing. I sing a lot in the shower. It's just a beautiful word. Yeah, that's like it. Yeah, thanks. That was not my finest. I'm better in the shower, I promise.
We can do another take if you want.
I'm good, I'm good.
All right.
There's a lot to do out there. You can either talk about it, or you can do something about it. At ECU, we choose to do things. And we can help you do just about anything. Come here to keep hometowns thriving, hearts beating, or make waves across the world. Wherever you're headed, this ship can get you there. With 30,000 of us doing so much, you won't find anyone sitting around. You ready?
If you could know then what you know now, what would you say to your freshman self?
Don't get down on myself, you know. If you make bad plays, just pick myself up, talk to myself.
Okay, which conference opponent do you look forward to playing the most?
I look forward to playing Houston. I just feel like we're a good team, they're a good team, so it's always like a really competitive thing between both of us.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
No matter how hard life gets, don't give up.
Who's your best friend on the team?
Ariana Williams.
How would your friends describe you?
Goofy.
What are you listening to in your headphones in the pregame?
Meek Mill. ECU part. Arr.
At the American, we know that power isn't for the faint of heart. Power is reserved for the go-getters, the team players, and those who are hungry for victory. We know power because we are power. Join us for the 2019 American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, March 8th through the 11th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut.
Scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
Dominance for a 4th straight year. Quaso from 30!
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is a means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with one drop.
Change starts with one person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Halftime here in Greenville, double-digit advantage for the home squad Pirates in the rematch with Tulane. Tulane won when they were at home in the conference opener in the first meeting of these two squads. We welcome you back on the American Digital Network. Lincoln Rose, Angela Beck with you. Gives us a chance here at the half to look at, again, your players of the week, your player of the week and freshman of the week in the American coming into this past week of action. And, of course, Nafisa Collier, the senior, trying to go out in style.
Well, Nafisa Collier is a great senior because she's so consistent. She's someone that he can depend on in every game. She averaged 22.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, shooting 59.9% from the field, and by the way, 13 of 16 from the free throw line. She's a total package.
Again, she's honored after they knocked off UCF to become the only unbeaten in conference play. They remained unbeaten with a win earlier today against Cincinnati as well. Meanwhile, for Houston, good things happened last year. Program started to turn things around. Tatiana Hill, the freshman, making sure that good things continue for the next 4 years.
Well, we've always talked about the guard play for Houston, but now you're going to talk about the post play, and that's Tatiana Hill. 6'2", 17 points. She scored the other night, shooting 6 of 12, and she's averaging 12.5 points, and the big girl can play.
Once again, it has the Cougars in the hunt for a valuable top 4 seed. Tulane's also in that hunt, but trying to avoid a stumble. They have trailed the entirety of this one. Ariana Williams with 4 huge triples, a 33-22 edge. Highlights and stats when we come back.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
A big save, a clutch hit.
Or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
Student athletes,
Coaches and team representatives.
power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
Profanities or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
power for life.
The American. Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
This is our game, our moment, our time. We work hard and play harder. We stay loyal to the game and to our team. We are power, American power. The American, powered by determination.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
Powerful minds, strong in mind, strong in body. The American is dedicated to promoting success
Through a healthy, powerful mind.
if it is okay to seek help.
For injuries we can see,
Then it needs to be okay to seek help for injuries we can't see. Mental health awareness is important because I think a lot of times it goes unnoticed in college athletics.
We look after our bodies, and it's just as important to look after our mental health.
It's time to end the stigma
Related to mental health,
and seeking help. End the stigma.
Pirates at the half, leading 33-22. Lincoln Rose, Angela Beck back with you. For Tulane on the year, about 2/3 of their scoring is coming from freshmen and sophomore. 20 of their 22 points on the road have all been from the youngsters, only 2 points from a senior so far. They're going to need a little bit more. Obviously, both teams have been working in their benches. Lisa Stockton's been trying to find some sort of answer off of that bench after the slow start.
Yeah, they've just been a little bit flat. I thought their defense might energize them a little bit. They've done some good things on defense, but just Freeman's really been the only one that's showed up on the categories.
Take a look at the highlights. You're not going to see much of LaShonda Monk after 2 quick fouls. She only played 5 minutes in the first half, but her teammates able to step up, including Ariana Williams.
Yeah, I thought Frazier really handled everything. She was able to just kind of keep everybody together, keep the pace of play where they wanted. Obviously, Williams hitting her threes ignited them and probably gave them that little extra spark that they had. But both teams kind of struggling. That second quarter was very flat. Tulane only put up 6 points in that whole quarter, so they're going to have to do better.
Yeah, you've already seen a lot of Freeman, 15 points, 5 rebounds. She's certainly a concern, as Nicole Mealing mentioned her by name. And for the Pirates, hitting those first 4 triples. Williams looking for her teammates to get involved. Frazier's chimed in with 8 as well. So halftime here in Greenville. When we come back, a chance to hear from Lisa Stockton, head coach of Tulane.
When everything's a little different, one thing remains the same: the chance to make a real difference. Because the norm here is anything but. Every day our volume grows. Every moment a bit more colorful than the last. From a city that's 300 years old, we inspire things that are entirely new. Because that's what creates the change the world desperately needs.
There's a lot to do out there. You can either talk about it or you can do something about it. At ECU, we choose to do things. And we can help you do just about anything. Come here to keep hometowns thriving, hearts beating, or make waves across the world. Wherever you're headed, this ship can get you there. With 30,000 of us doing so much, you won't find anyone sitting around. You ready?
At the American, we know that power isn't for the faint of heart. Power is reserved for the go-getters, the team players, and those who are hungry for victory. We know power because we are power. Join us for the 2019 American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, March 8th through the 11th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut.
Halftime continues here on the American Digital Network as Tulane making their trip out to Greenville. Second meeting of the year. If they meet for a third time, it'll be up in Connecticut at the conference tournament. Speaking of Connecticut, that is where the Pirates are headed next to square off against UConn in their next outing this week. Lisa Stockton and the Green Wave are out of their locker room, and coach is now with Maryland.
I have head coach Lisa Stockton here with me. What was your team able to do to slow the three-point shooting threat that came out of the gate so fast and strong for the Pirates?
Well, I think we really stopped it going in the second quarter. Really, the first quarter, they just came out on fire. But, I'm really disappointed with our effort. I feel like that they've gotten every loose ball. We looked at the rebounds. We got 3 players with rebounds. So we just got to do a better job, just overall, just more effort.
When you see that it is an effort problem and not a schematic problem for your team, how do you get this roster of girls to change that at the half?
Well, I think we got to play like we can play. I mean, I know what we're made of, and I think for us is that, again, loose balls, you can do all those little things. Pull rebounds, we need to run, our offense needs to flow a little better, but, we just look like we're really stagnant right now.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
And of course, Lisa Stockton has seen it all throughout her career. More often than not, she has found the answer. We take a look at your stats from the first half, and you tell me what stands out.
Well, obviously, the percentage of shooting, 47% for the Pirates, and then shooting 4 of 8 from 3-point, 50% from 3-point. And they're rebounding. They're out-rebounding them, so they are getting the hustle plays, and they're getting the points off the turnovers. Points in the paint, went to Tulane, but if you think about every category, ECU's won.
And Tulane still, again, has a lot to play for here in this final month of conference play. They're in a grouping there that could finish anywhere from 3rd down to maybe 6th in conference. There's a big difference if you can be that 3rd or that number 4 seed in this league.
Well, it's a little nerve-wracking if I'm Stockton, because you have your people in position to be in the top half of the conference and to really get a good seed. And this is a game that you should win. It's a 1-5 Pirates. They have a little bit of, stuff that they're juggling with their coaching staff and all that. I mean, it's a time that they should win this, and I'm sure that she's just pretty frustrated right now with her play.
Again, Cincinnati earlier today played UConn tight, but UConn remains unbeaten in conference, 8-0. That means Cincinnati picks up its 3rd loss, 2 of those 3 losses against UConn, as they drew them twice on the conference slate. But that opens the door for a Tulane, for a Houston, to try to inch even higher up the standings. And the folks down in H-Town, they might be cheering on the Pirates right now.
I'm just excited for our conference as a whole, because if you think about it, obviously we got UConn, and everyone says that we can't compete with it, but we do compete with it, because now you get a good Cincinnati team coming up. You got UCF coming up, and they're doing, they're obviously a great team now. And then USF is having a tough year, but next year they're going to be back, and that gives us kind of a Power 4 versus what we've had.
Tulane heads home after this match. They will have that injury-plagued USF squad, but any group for Jose Fernandez is a dangerous group, even at 2-5.
They're super scary. I'm very impressed with how they play and how he coaches. He's amazing.
They've had a couple of close ones slip away. So just about ready to go. Start of the third quarter. Thanks to both coaches Nicole Mealing and Lisa Stockton for checking in with Maryland. Talk about their approach to the second half. ECU has not trailed. Led by as many as 12 right now, an 11-point advantage. And it'll be their defense trying to set the tone early. LaShonda Monk is on the court for the first time since picking up her second foul 5 minutes into the ball game. And yet her teammates didn't make any excuses. With that said, Tulane with a nice answer there to get things started from Lofton.
Well, they came out with a trapping zone, but never really trapped out of it. They looked like they weren't quite knowing what they were in, and that was a good take by Tulane.
Up top with Corbin. And that's just a self-inflicted injury there, dribbling off her own foot, out of bounds for Williams.
Well, once you get in that little sideline there, they don't let you out of it. And so if you start putting your dribble down to go baseline, you're going to get trapped, or you're going to have that happen.
Williams attempted 6 triples in the first half, missing her last 2. And Freeman is tied up for Monk. And that will officially go down as a turnover. Back over to ECU. Welcome back, LaShonda.
Yeah, good thing she didn't act all handcuffed with those 2 fouls. She just went in there and tied it up. She's sneaky. She's going to go in there, and I don't want to get a foul, but I'm going to tie this thing up.
She had already set a career high with 76 steals coming into today. Just continues to pad that number. A shot off the mark from Johnson. Kick out, open look. And a couple of Pirates fighting each other for the rebound. Finally conceded to Raven Johnson.
I like the energy that Tulane had that time down. They pushed their tempo a little bit, and they need to keep pressing this tempo right now.
And Alex Frazier looks over to Coach Mealing.
I think ECU would be happy to put you to sleep here. I mean, they're going to take their time.
It was a low-scoring second quarter, so you heard Lisa Stockton talking about how things actually were working for them in that second frame defensively. They conceded just 10 points. Their problem is they only produced 6 points offensively.
Yeah, it was a very flat quarter, and but both teams were, 10 points and 6 points, only 16 points in the entire quarter. Corbin, she comes off the bench and gives them some height, and she can score these two. They need every little bit they can get here.
Former honorable mention All-America at South Georgia Tech, where she started her career out of Griffin, Georgia. Now senior, wrapping up with the Pirates.
Now here's that press that we were waiting to see.
Still haven't crossed the timeline, finally do. Inside, and a walk. Corbin was there, forcing the turnover.
Yeah, Madison Wells, they don't go down to her very often. The turnover.
So we won't use that cliche. 2 minutes into the start of the third quarter. Monk into Corbin. Oh, quick hands. A shot denied. Nice defense as Johnson unable to add to the advantage. Up by 11. Hand off Jones. Splits the defense, and the Pirates clamp down without committing that foul. You mentioned LaShonda Monk. She's not out there playing scared.
Well, that's Dinah Jones right there. I liked her decision to not rush the 3 and put it on the drive, but she just lost the handles.
Monk full speed ahead. Nothing but pink shirts in the area.
What I talk about that corner, you can't get down in that corner with the dribble. You got to reverse and then attack the middle. But they keep getting in that corner and turning it over. So when you have a 1-guard front like that, I try to go with a 2-guard front. If you have, you know, three people up, then you want to offset.
Each team with a pair of points here early going third quarter, and expanding that lead once again, Frazier.
Well, assist to Desiree Corbin. She kept the ball alive with the tip.
She's the first woman back down defensively.
She's giving them some good minutes.
And free throws coming up. They'll get the foul on Raven Johnson.
Yeah, as great as a player Crystal Freeman is, she's gotten like 6 of her points on offensive rebounds, and that's the first time she's touched it in the half.
Just the second trip to the free throw line today for Tulane. Only Freeman has been to the line. And she's now made 2 of 3. Her last 2 points have been from the free throw line after 15 early points you mentioned off of some second chance opportunities. Again, she had 20 rebounds in New Orleans against ECU in the conference opener. 10 on the offensive glass. Obviously a focal point for opponents throughout the conference. Give it back to Monk. And they're going to get Corbin for an offensive foul away from the basketball, I believe. That'll be her first. Well, we've been at this 11-point barrier between these two teams for a while now. Even when ECU's gone cold, Tulane's just been unable to chip away. Back into Freeman. More of that, please. Crystal Freeman.
Excellent play there. That's what they need to do more often right there. Go inside.
So Corbin will head to the bench. She's had some solid minutes today.
Well, they're just kind of picking away at it. Now we're in single digits. You know, they're just picking away. Tulane's not getting overly excited, but, you know, they're handling it. And I think watch out, because if they turn it up just a little bit, this is going to be a game.
Yeah, ECU's been unable to pull away. Tulane certainly not out of this one. Good look straight away. Shot just won't fall, as Tulane now 1 for 8 from beyond the arc. Tulane does get numbers quickly back. Williams has missed her last 3. Another offensive rebound, and it won't go for Campbell. And that ball will be deflected. It'll stay with Tulane. Shot clock at 15.
Now reaching for Tulane, number 22. Also wearing number 5, Manu Inaraki.
Tulane 2 for 5 shooting to start here in the third quarter. ECU just 1 of 7. They have seen that 11-point halftime advantage at the moment simply get cut to 9. And Freeman didn't look comfortable putting that ball on the court. Nice extra pass. It won't pay off, however. They found a good look there for Meredith Schulte.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Meredith Schulte, but she seems like, you know, she just is like a step away from, you know, making a shot. Here she gets it, and she just shoots kind of a fade instead of getting that shoulder in.
And they will call a walk. The turnover from Lofton.
Lofton has that quick first step, and I didn't really see the trouble. I guess it was there on the backside, but She needs to do more of that too.
Well, which of these two teams can find their footing offensively? Another turnover.
In the corner.
That has become a trend here. It does, on the bright side, give us a chance to check back in with Marilyn Payne.
Lisa Stockton called for her team to jump on this ECU Pirates squad early. She said the first 5 minutes of this quarter will determine what happens to us the rest of the game. That's what she told her team in the break before we started this third quarter. We're seeing some surge of energy as Coach Stockton wanted, closing the gap to a single-digit lead, but not quite enough. Coach Stockton believes to get that lead that her team wants. Now, Tulane and East Carolina have met a number of times across many conferences, including the American Conference that we are in, of course, now. For those of you watching at home on Facebook, Tulane leads this series 18-6 across the 24 meetings. But how many games in a row has Tulane won versus ECU? In case you weren't paying attention earlier, the cheat code, it's at least one, as Tulane did take this meeting against ECU in the conference opener back in January. Let us know how many in a row you think Tulane has won in the comment section below.
Marilyn, thank you. And of course, that overall series, Tulane leads ECU 18-6. That's history for a reason. Pirates still in the driver's seat, up by 9.
Scores! 3 strikeouts in a row.
Dominance for a 4th straight year. Quaso from 30!
Unbelievable.
And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
This is our game, our moment, our time. We work hard and play harder. We stay loyal to the game and to our team. We are power, American power. The American, powered by determination.
Plenty to cheer about for the Pirates right now, still with that advantage intact over Tulane. Again, LaShonda Monk has been minimized today in that first half, only played 5 minutes because of 2 quick fouls, but she has picked right back up in the third quarter with her defensive presence. She ranks 5th nationally in steals per game, even better 4th nationally in total steals. We mentioned already has a career high in terms of steals in a season, and we're just midway through conference play. Your current trivia on the screen for those of you watching online via Facebook at the American Digital Network Plus page. Welcome those of you tuned in on Cox Sports TV as well. Lincoln Rose, Angela Beck, along with Marilyn Payne courtside. Glad to have you with us this Saturday afternoon in the American. Saturday is always a busy day in this league. We will have, of course, the war on I-4 tomorrow. The rematch between USF and UCF, and again, with the injuries for USF, UCF was able to take advantage the first time for a rare victory in that rivalry. They'll try to do it again tomorrow with Coach Abe leading her Knights.
Well, Crystal Freeman here just getting the ball and putting it right back in the rack. Assist from her teammate, little tip ball there. But they're keeping it alive. Yes, they're right on the verge here, but that's a good, much needed offensive rebound for them.
Crystal Freeman is still the only Tulane player to step up to that free throw line today. Currently 3 for 5 for 3 of her 19 points.
Well, she's more aggressive with her shooting. A lot of other players on the team are shooting around people, and she's going after it.
Well, Tulane's made just one of their last 7 field goals, so she'll take scoring any way she can find it. Does it there at the charity stripe. Williams trying to get back on track. As Williams, after making her first 4, come up short on her last 4.
Yeah, that's that they're going to call a foul there on Salida Green over the back. She's not quite getting that arch on it, but they're calling the foul right there on Salida. Oh no, I guess they didn't call it on her.
Second opportunity here. Campbell, quick release, good. Not even any time to think about it. Just did what came naturally.
Well, that's a great play, and I love that shot by her.
Campbell with 8 points now, and her 13 minutes off the bench for ECU. ECU's bench outscoring Tulane here early on with a 12-4 advantage.
Once again, that's Dinah Jones with a quick first step, but she doesn't finish.
Monk was denied the angle by Lofton, but they also get Tatiana for the foul.
Remember when you and I were watching ECU play UCF, and Monk here she puts it into another gear, but we're thinking, okay, she's too tired, she's not going to last, and you understand she hasn't really played a lot of this game, so she's got a lot more energy.
She has reserves. She is we learned last year when she was a brilliant freshman that her battery does not drain. She might slow down every now and then, but she's able to dig a little bit deeper than a lot of others.
Well, even though she hasn't shot the ball a lot, she's got 4 assists for her teammates. And I think she's going to let the game come to her, and that's what she always does, and that's what great players do.
The first points for Monk today. Still has only played about 11 minutes. Back into Freeman. Tulane 0 for their last 6. And Madu Rungi will become the second Green Wave player to go to the charity stripe.
I think they've gotten the message from coach, you know, attack the rim. And that's a good rim attack there. Gets the body up and goes right after.
Well, I'm going to say it out loud, and then you can send me angry tweets, but Kayla is 17 for 17 at the charity stripe. It shouldn't work that way.
It really shouldn't. I just hit him in the arm in case you wanted to know what we were doing.
Filing workers' comp now.
I hit him right there in his arm.
Where a bicep should be. And 0 for 2. So Tulane with a chance to get points, but that's just the way it has been. Unable to close this gap against the Pirates.
Here they got her cutting through. I like it. Baseline's open.
Monk matched up with Jones. Shot clock melting down. Will Williams just fire one up? Settles for a 2, no. We'll head to the free throw line.
Yeah, little foul there on the shot. We haven't seen that part of her game. So far she's just been standstill shooting the 3, but that time she takes it off the dribble and draws the foul.
No mean tweets just yet. That one doesn't go down for Williams, who was 10 for 10 coming into today.
Well, she plays most of the game, but she's a sub. Yeah, you know.
And if you're shooting a lot of shots around the perimeter, hopefully you are not getting fouled a lot.
Yes.
Now 10 for 11.
And she gets the shooter's roll.
Pirates have led by as many as 13. You see Williams will get a breather on the bench.
The pressure from ECU has not really affected Tulane. They've, besides maybe taking a couple more seconds to get down, other than that, it really hasn't affected them.
Freeman from the perimeter drives in.
Hello. That means some business right there.
Crystal Freeman, 20 points and a pair of rebounds shy of a double-double. And all of a sudden, the three-point parade coming through town here in Greenville.
Well, now they're in foul trouble, so.
Say three-point free throw.
Yeah.
Free throw parade.
Either one. But yeah, now that they're in foul trouble, ECU needs to be aggressive and continue to go at them because they're shooting free throws.
Yeah, Alex Frazier is going to make both of these free throws. She is a 41% shooter from the charity stripe. She already made the front end. Hurries that one up. Won't go down. Freeman with the rebound, now with 9 boards. And that's what Tulane needs more of. Kayla Anderson says, I'll take care of this. The captain comes through. all of that defense clamping down on Hope.
Well, they're pushing the tempo now, and they're forcing them to take some bad shots.
Freeman trying her hand at a 3-ball.
She says, why not? I'm shooting 33% from three-point range.
That's 3 of 9. It's just the 10th triple she's attempted all year. Freeman trying not to foul. They're going to get her and one. Count the bucket. Trip to the charity stripe coming up here for Raven Johnson.
Well, Raven Johnson's been a little bit quiet. She's been averaging 13 points a game. So you wondered when she was going to start making something happen.
She's been a big cog over the past couple years in that press, in the defensive effort for ECU. 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. An 11-point lead at halftime for ECU. They have stretched it to a dozen at the moment. And there's the trademark for the Pirates. LaShonda Monk was trying to dish it after the steal, trying to dial up Johnson. It'll stay with the Pirates.
Yeah, she's super slippery. Very intelligent player, high basketball IQ. And she has the innate ability to make reads. And it's hard to teach that.
Pirates are 10-10 overall this year, but they are 8-3 here at home. Monk! That one may have touched the base of the net on its way out. And they're going to say Tulane touched it last.
Look at Monk. Well, ECU has done a good job of managing the clock, almost like in a football game. You just take your time, you try to manage it. You get the offensive rebound, take it out.
Well, naturally, LaShonda Monk at 5'6" gets the rebound there. It's a game where Tulane has 22 points from Crystal Freeman, but just 11 from her teammates. Both Williams and Frazier in double digits for the Pirates. Monk. And again, this will stay with ECU, just 6 on the shot clock.
Now here's Monk. She decides to take it to the interior and gets a block by Freeman.
And then Monk, after the block, they say commits the foul.
Oh.
And I believe a technical. Yeah. So free throws here for Cheatham.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Let me correct myself. Being told it's on Gutierrez. That doesn't make sense. No, they've got the wrong number 2. It is on LaShonda Monk.
Yeah, that's
remember, shot clock is down to 6 here for the Pirates, even with that technical foul. And rebound hauled in by Cheatham. Final minute, third quarter. Tulane's outscored ECU by the narrow margin of 13-12 here in this period. ECU just wanted their last 8 shots, and yet they have a double-digit advantage potentially to take into the fourth quarter.
So that's just another mental error right there. Cheatham just wasn't sure where to make the pass, and so she double dribbled. And this is where you say that they're just not as sharp as they need to be.
Both teams in the bonus for the final half minute here.
Frazier had a career-high 17 points versus Wichita State. And her first career double-double versus Tulsa, she had 10 points, 10 rebounds. She's picked up her game. Her demeanor doesn't change.
And Frazier able to make both of the free throws. Williams in a foot race, off the foot.
I think this is where we started out the quarter, 12-point game. And we're back at it.
Yeah, ECU has not been able to pull away, and Tulane has not been able to close this gap. Those three-pointers from Williams early in the opening quarter, essentially holding up as your difference right now. I don't know if either team's going to enter that fourth quarter comfortable, knowing that a run from either team could hand them a victory that both these teams thought was within reach. That's plan A every time, but they can't take advantage. So ECU will stretch its lead by one, a 12-point advantage against Tulane. Pirates, Green Wave, fourth quarter coming up next.
When everything's a little different, one thing remains the same: the chance to make a real difference. Because the norm here is anything but. Every day our volume grows. Every moment a bit more colorful than the last. From a city that's 300 years old, we inspire things that are entirely new. Because that's what creates the change the world desperately needs.
There's a lot to do out there. You can either talk about it or you can do something about it. At ECU, we choose to do things. And we can help you do just about anything. Come here to keep hometowns thriving, hearts beating, or make waves across the world. Wherever you're headed, this ship can get you there. With 30,000 of us doing so much, you won't find anyone sitting around. You ready?
This is our game, our moment, our time. We work hard and play harder. We stay loyal to the game and to our team. We are power, American power. The American, powered by determination.
Final 10 minutes on the clock, just about set to go for the fourth quarter here in Greenville. In regulation, a chance during this break to check back in with Maryland.
East Carolina leading Tulane 47-35. That 12-point lead is up from the 9-point lead that East Carolina had at the 5-minute mark back in that third quarter. Before that, Crystal Freeman had scored her 20th point, and at the break, East Carolina's head coach asked her girls to up their defense, in particular looking at Destiny Campbell and saying, you better sit your butt back and play some D. Do not let her score again. And East Carolina was able to keep Tulane from scoring from the floor for 2 full minutes. Now, of course, Freeman did get her 22nd points of the game, but ECU's resurgent defense allowing them to hold on to this double-digit lead here as we start the fourth quarter.
Maryland, thank you. Yeah, Crystal averages 13 points a ball game, but has played well this year in 2 meetings against ECU. The 22 points today, 9 rebounds. That's great. The problem is she needs more help.
Well, she does need more help because ECU now has played 3 good quarters, outscoring them 23-16 in the first quarter, 10-6 in the second quarter, and 14-13 in the third quarter. Can they do it in the fourth?
That lead just continues again to grow as they upped it to a 12-point advantage coming into here the fourth. Here is Freeman taken away off her hip by Alex Frazier.
Well, they double down with the guards, and the guards are just, you know, the posts are putting it where the guards can get it. You got to keep it above your head.
And again, out rebounding Tulane here in this one, but that one heads out of bounds after it's being battled for by Desiree Corbin.
Yeah, they're plus 10 on the rebounds right now. This one, she just needed to keep her footing, but good effort.
Back to Tulane, chance to trim this down to 10, maybe even 9. Again, a fairly young group in terms of production for Tulane this year, but they're 4-3 in the top half of the conference, in the hunt for a top 4 seed, and they will take more of that. Dinah Jones.
Big shot by the freshman there.
Just the second field goal of the day for Jones. Her first triple.
Yeah, she had her second career start against Memphis, so she's starting to get her progression in and starting to feel, you know, a little bit better about her game.
You saw ECU's numbers from beyond the arc. Remember, they started 4 for 4, so they've missed their last 6. All those makes were in the opening quarter.
ECU got away with one there. When you get into a trap, you don't necessarily want to put the ball down. You want to just wait and try to look and see what's open, and you want to pass. You don't want to dribble.
Frazier, the contested shot. Nice job defensively by Harlan Wyatt, able to affect that look.
Once again, 2 offensive boards there in the same series. They're just catching Tulane a little flat on their feet. They got to box out.
Wyatt coming out to defend Corbin at the top of the perimeter.
They're going to eat some time off clock every time.
Yeah, that clock right now is the Pirates' friend. The turnovers are not.
No, it's been a pretty good turnover game. Only 10 turnovers for ECU and 11 turnovers for Tulane, but we've seen about 4 in the last couple minutes.
Here's a unique stat in the box score the last time these two teams met. We talked about how prolific ECU's with steals, almost got away with one right there, but in that loss to Tulane, ECU had 13 steals, only 9 assists. Not many teams have more forced turnovers than assists. But that also told you how they had struggles offensively. That was not the case early in this ball game.
Yeah, I think they allow the players to kind of get a feel for everything. That was a great backdoor cut there. They're starting to overplay the passing lanes ECU is in. That was a great backdoor read.
A fantastic feed into Lofton from Anderson.
I think Monk needs to come alive right now for ECU.
I think it's a single-digit deficit for the first time this half.
Down to 7.
And the Pirates start to rebuild their advantage. Shot clock, desperation time. Out of the hand and good. Wow. Salida Green calm under pressure.
That almost looked like a shot put. I mean, that wasn't a shot. I mean, she just rolled it up there, banked it.
We will look for her in Birmingham at the indoor championships later on this month.
Well, when she did it, she just kind of just did the little toss.
We've seen so many instant replays where that ball is still sitting on the fingertips. She wanted to get that out of her hand and make it clear.
Yeah, at least she gave herself a high lofter, and that gives yourself a little chance to make it. I don't know if she called the bank, but
probably not at this hour. A little 17-footer, no. So again, able to stretch the lead back to 9, and the Pirates will take it. Back to an 11-point lead after it had been as close as 7. Alex Frazier.
And Frazier's playing a complete game and willing to take the big shot.
Maybe the bank is open. And let's see if Lisa Stockton didn't get a timeout before all that went down.
Well, she seemed to.
Well, Tulane had pulled within 7 with 7 minutes to go here in regulation. They trail 51-40.
Scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
dominance for a 4th straight year. Quaso from 30.
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
Powerful minds.
Strong in mind.
Strong in body.
The American is dedicated to promoting success
through a healthy, powerful mind.
If it is okay to seek help
for injuries we can see,
then it needs to be okay to seek help for injuries we can't see. Mental health awareness is important because I think a lot of times it goes unnoticed in college athletics.
We look after our bodies, and it's just as important to look after our mental health.
It's time to end the stigma
related to mental health
and seeking help.
End the stigma.
At the American, we know that power isn't for the faint of heart. Power is reserved for the go-getters, the team players, and those who are hungry for victory. We know power because we are power. Join us for the 2019 American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, March 8th through the 11th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut.
Well, Tulane's 5-game winning streak in this series against ECU in jeopardy right now. More importantly, again, Tulane at 4-3 in the league was hoping to improve to 5-3 before colliding with USF back in New Orleans this week. But while they still have a chance, the Pirates able to stretch this lead back to a double-digit advantage. Again, they will take on UConn this week.
Well, time's running out, and the tempo has been in ECU's favor. They really have only gotten a couple transition buckets, Tulane has. They need to really up their defensive tempo right now and try to change the complexion of these next couple minutes.
ECU's one win so far in conference against Wichita State. They wound up splitting the series as they went to Wichita the other night, as the Shockers able to take one back. Speaking of taking one back, LaShonda Monk doing what LaShonda Monk does.
Well, that's amazing, and that's heartbreaking for Tulane just to get a turnover in that situation when they really needed a score. But there you go for Monk. She does the things that you maybe don't see in the columns, but she's a big part of that offense.
Tulane had started this quarter on a 5-0 run. ECU has scored the last 4, unable to add to it there.
Well, you just wonder where the rest of the team is here. We got to have more people scoring.
Freeman. And the offensive rebound was secured by Harlan Wyatt.
Yeah, Wyatt and Anderson, really, we haven't heard much from them here today, and Freeman's been it. She gets double teamed there, but really kind of shoots around them again. Doesn't really go after them, and I think they would draw more fouls. They've got to attack.
Battle down low. Corbin held her ground, almost forced a turnover. Freeman tracks it down. LaShonda Monk. Well, she will help Anderson up. Monk's eyes, you imagine, got pretty big when she saw that ball as an opportunity.
Well, she knew, and what a great player she is, helping the other player pick her up. She doesn't just steal the ball, she picks you up.
LaShonda 3 fouls today, also a technical. Remember, she picked up the 2 fouls early in the first 5 minutes of the ball game, and even in her absence, ECU was able to establish this double-digit advantage that they've held almost throughout. They have never trailed today, and that's going to be the goal by the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, besides Freeman's 22 points, you've got Lofton and Cheatham with 6 and 5, and then Anderson has 2, and that's it. So they've just struggled in their offense.
Off the screen. And they're fortunate Freeman was able to track that one down.
And credit Salida Green for playing good defense there on Freeman.
This will just be the 5th shot attempted this quarter by Tulane, and they get it to go.
Well, they found the open man. They double-teamed Freeman and left her open, and she hit it.
Cheatham's connected on 2 of the 3 made triples for Tulane. And free throws coming up. Alex Frazier will go to the charity stripe.
Well, you knew she wasn't going to pass it out. When she had it, she was going to take it. There you have Tulane hitting the open player and getting that three-pointer.
Here at Cheatham again out of the Houston area from Clear Springs.
Just when you think they might, you know, carve into this a little bit, they come back at you.
Frazier unable to convert the and one. ECU is 9 of 14 from the charity stripe today. Tulane 6 of 10. And most importantly right now, a double-digit advantage for these Pirates midway through the 4th quarter.
Well, they're one and done. ECU's done an outstanding job on the rebounding end of the court. They're not giving them any second shots. And then they're taking their time on the offensive end, limiting their turnovers.
Shot clock again winding down, and rebound for Freeman secured, part of her double-double day, 22 and 11.
Yeah, we need a little sense of urgency here.
Corbin holds her ground, and yet somehow that ball goes through. That's not supposed to happen on the row. And how about a oh goodness no moment there from Justice G. She'll be able to laugh it off later. Does not cost the Pirates. She saw the pink. She was excited about the play for K game. And somehow they get it back.
But that really shows G's athleticism.
Oh.
She's very athletic. I mean, she's done 3 or 4 things in this game that really went noticed. But that was a great block.
If Tulane had taken advantage, all of a sudden they could have been back within 2 scores. Instead, Pirates hanging on to an 8-point edge, 4:02 to go. Chance to check back in courtside with Marilyn Payne.
After the 3-point barrage to open the game, Ariana Williams just held to 1 point in this second half, but Alex Frazier, as we're seeing, taking control. If you're watching this game at home on the ADN Facebook page, make sure you vote below for today's MVP options from East Carolina. As the Pirates hold the lead, they've not trailed all game long.
Again, we will have a chance to take a look at this inbounds play. Coming in with the swat, Justice G just wanted to pad her own defensive stats. Well, that's how you play D in Greenville, North Carolina. Purdy scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
Dominance for a 4th straight year. Hueso from 30!
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
This is our game, our moment, our time. We work hard and play harder. We stay loyal to the game and to our team. We are power, American power. The American, powered by determination. More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
Well, sometimes you're literally handed opportunities on the road, but Tulane could not take advantage of that last turnover by the Pirates. Again, a bucket there, and you're talking about a 6-point ball game with 4:02 to play. But it's a gentle reminder. If Tulane can get a few things to click here down the stretch, they go from trailing the entire game to leaving here 5-3 in conference.
This game's not over by any chance. 4 minutes is a lot of time. But the problem is if these guys take a lot of time down here, they have been taking time. They've been milking the clock.
Yeah, there's a reason why they have flirted with some shot clock violations.
And I think it's brilliant because in the end, you just never know.
Block there by Sierra Cheatham. Another rejection by Cheatham. Sierra with 8 points today, with a couple of rebounds. And one of her 2 rejections. Tulane again, a chance to pull within 2 scores. And you mentioned it, do not count the green wave out just yet.
Well, that was a great, Tanya Lofton just gave up the 3 to get a quick 2, but look at that, Frazier. Frazier is definitely the MVP for them. She's done it all today. That's a big shot.
No milking the shot clock that time for Frazier. She has 19 points now to lead the way in this one for ECU.
You know, as much as we saw Monk the other day and how she did, I'm surprised she's as quiet as she is. She just really hasn't turned it up on the offensive end today like we've seen her.
Obviously, defensive side of things. She has come up with some trademark turnovers. LaShonda just 2 points, both of them coming from the free throw line, 0 for 3 from the floor. ECU just 4 of 11 here in the 4th quarter right now. Tulane 5 of 9, making more than half their shots. More importantly, they're 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, where they had just been 1 of 10 for the ball game. That has helped make this interesting. Full court press from the Pirates, but able to escape Anderson. And guilty of the foul there was Raven Johnson, and Tatiana Lofton felt that defender on her and realized she had a chance to earn a trip to the free throw line.
Well, she's really turning it on, and she's had 17 points versus Memphis. She's had 4 double-figure scoring opportunities this year, and she's quick off the trigger. I mean, she can take you out. That first step of hers is amazing.
And she's just been averaging 5.5 points per ball game. Noted that career high 17 against Memphis, and comes through at the free throw line. Both teams applying pressure.
6-point game.
Last time we saw ECU, 4 quarters was not enough against UCF.
Question, is that a pass or was it a shot?
Yep. You are correct. That is the question.
If she had the vision and saw her on the weak side, I think it's brilliant.
They're going to charge Anderson with the missed layup. And fighting her way through the screen, the foul there on Campbell.
Well, they're running what you call quick hits, and you're coming in and getting screens right out of their transition game, and that was a great pick play. If that had gone down, that could have been a lot of points.
First free throws today for Harlan Wyatt. A 52%er, able to make the front end. To Benjamin E. Mays High School in Atlanta. Seniors appeared in all 21 games this year. He's only come off the bench on 3 occasions. Averages about 20 minutes per outing.
Yeah, just about 5 points a game.
Crystal Freeman with that 23 on her back in pink. Eager for any opportunity should there be a miss to fight for a rebound. Already a double-double today, and no need for a rebound. White makes them both. Again, Tulane back within 6. And we may have a cramp over there with Destiny Campbell. So Tulane outscoring ECU here in the fourth quarter, 16-10, to trim the 12-point deficit in half.
Both teams have 15 turnovers, and a lot of them have happened in the second half.
At Tulane bench screaming they needed somebody to defend the player inbounding. Monk. And they'll be happy to take this clock down, but mind you, right now it's just a 2-score lead. And they are going to get free throws out of this exchange. A bang-bang play, and Salita Green will go to the line as they call the foul on Lofton.
Well, this time Frazier goes down. Nice dish. Oh, good square of the shoulders. That's a good offensive play.
Yeah, I know you saw the foot there on the restricted arc. Now the men and the women both play with that white arc.
Yeah, Salita Green did a great job of just squaring her shoulder and using that to defend off the other player and get to the free throw line.
80% free throw shooter, makes her first on the day. That was a meaningful free throw, makes it a 3-score ball game, and an offensive rebound for ECU.
Well, that's a big rebound by Raven Johnson.
That's potentially more time off the clock. And Tulane will help out Salita Green, who is, it looked like, playing one speed too fast.
Yeah, they just have dug a hole and just been in it. And I'm going to credit ECU's Frazier for keeping her team under control. But even in that last series, Monk did dribble penetration pop. They ran a spread offense and just milked the clock and got to the line. And so they keep doing it.
So Green is back at the line. She was 1 for 2 the first trip and 1 for 2 here. 8-point lead for ECU, 2 minutes to play in regulation. Wyatt. No basket called for the travel. Both teams with their fair share of miscues.
ECU doesn't look tonight like a team that is 1-5 in the league. I mean, they look well coached. They look like they have a good offense. They out-rebounded Tulane all afternoon. 1-6 in the league. It just doesn't feel like that.
Oh, and Tulane had a breakdown defensively. Pirates can't make them pay. And after the offensive rebound, they give it back over to the Green Wave. Dinah Jones, the freshman, had just come back on and gets the steal. Well, there's just a need to know when you need to play in 5th gear and when you need to be able to slow things down.
Yeah, sometimes she outquicks herself, and that's a good steal back.
G had a great rebound and then felt pressure over there on the sideline. Didn't have anywhere to go with it.
The one thing you don't want is the clock to stop. And this is like every coach's nightmare. Obviously, if they don't hit their free throws, you don't mind. But having the clock stop, letting them regroup, makes this game go a really long time. And it's still anybody's game.
Able to make 1 of 2. Jones with 6 points today. Both teams are in the bonus. This may come down to simply who can make their free throws. A 7-point cushion at the moment for ECU. Looking to stretch it here.
Well, they wanted to try to trap Frazier on that sideline, but she's a heady ball player. She's like, you're not going to trap me. She goes after them and draws the foul. So, big time heady play by the 5'9" senior.
Both teams have shot 37% today from the floor. A few more triples along the way for ECU helps give them this edge.
Yeah, I mean, points in the paint are the same, 28 to 26 points in the paint, which kind of surprises me because ECU, I didn't feel like they'd go inside as much, but they got it to their high post a lot.
And Alex makes less than half of her free throws on average. And no offensive rebound that time for the Pirates.
She shoots it like a jump shot.
Time not on the side of Tulane. Dinah Jones, that is a freshman, taking it straight to the hole.
Well, they're tired of being lulled to sleep here. They're just going to go directly down. I mean, no one stopped her.
8 points now for Jones. Third leading scorer for Tulane today, behind Freeman's double-double of 22 and 11. And Lofton with 10 points off the bench today. ECU with 3 players in double digits. Frazier with 19. Salita Green off the bench with 10. We saw Williams hit those 12 early points. Just has 13 now for the ball game after she started to cool off.
Yeah, Lofton's been a big part of their resurgence because she's been noticeable. She's in double digits now, and she's got 5 rebounds.
And now again, Tulane trying to return the favor with some pressure down the stretch. That's the benefit of making your shots. You can set up the defense and get the turnover. And just got Green off her feet. Jones again was looking to attack the rim.
Well, here she is. She's just driving, and she goes right at her body. And that's what you want to do. She gets right at her. She had no way to go.
Foul was at the waist, regardless of whether Green had the shot itself blocked. And that's a sigh of relief on the front end. You mentioned Jones came into today about 57% from the line.
Well, having Erin Gutierrez on the bench, or not there because she's sick, I mean, that really has caused them to have to go to another guard.
Williams with the dribble. And that was either going to be a backcourt or a turnover. It's the latter, and here comes the Green Wave back within 2.
Yeah.
Timeout ECU over the last 30 seconds. It's a 6-0 run.
This is not what I want if I'm a coach. I don't want Williams splitting the defenders and dribbling through traffic because she's going to get it patted from behind. So you want to pass through that, fake a pass, make a pass, whatever, but you don't want to dribble through that.
Tulane has not led in the first 39 minutes of this ball game.
It's a 6-0 run for Tulane over the last 34 seconds. That's the most offense they've had all day.
They've outscored ECU in the fourth quarter 22-12. It's essentially just the opposite of how their first meeting played out at the start of the new year here in conference play. ECU tried to come back. They outscored Tulane 21-11 in that fourth quarter, but just had dug themselves too deep of a hole in that loss in New Orleans. Now the difference is Tulane's been hanging tight throughout this one, as the Pirates were not able to put it away earlier.
I'm not going to be afraid to foul Frazier because she doesn't look comfortable at that free throw line.
I'll say the ball was tipped out of her hands, and they'll take what they can get. Destiny Campbell, 2 very important points here in the final minute.
They got lucky on that one.
She's got 10 points now. Guess who? That is the left hand of Dinah Jones, again guiding the ball off the glass. And Tulane sets up its defense once more, but this time a whistle. Lisa Stockton thought they had another one.
Yeah, so here Dinah, she just goes directly to the hole. She's got the quick first step, and she looks like she belongs there.
And with that foul called, it's the long walk to the opposite end as Monk will shoot the bonus.
Well, they're lucky they got Monk at their line and not Frazier, because Frazier just isn't as comfortable.
Monk got a 75% free throw shooter. 2 for 4 today. She's still looking for her 3rd point today.
Well, ECU is almost like playing not to lose instead of playing to win. You can feel it. It's like they're stressed, and just got to keep playing hard.
They know every game's an uphill battle. The first quarter was just about everything you could ask for if you're a Pirates fan. They were able to keep Tulane at bay with their defense. But Tulane with 24 points here in the fourth. It's still a one-score ball game. Looking for the tie. And Manu Inirungi just off the mark. And that's going to be Tulane basketball after you saw it dribbled on the baseline. So shot clock. Let's see what they do with that after that exchange.
2 points doesn't get it unless they get a quick 2 here and then get a foul.
Still too early to intentionally foul. ECU defending a 3-point lead. And that's what you didn't want. Had that ball gone in, you're committing a foul and putting a player at the line for a tie. Fortunate bucket did not go, but back to the charity stripe is Jones.
Well, I don't know where Jones has been all night, but I know where she's been in the last 3 minutes, and she looks fantastic. She just plays like that in the first couple quarters.
She's 2 for 4 at the charity stripe today for 2 of her 13 now.
I think they're figuring out they might have a little weapon in here. Calm, cool, and collected.
So shot clock will not be a factor the rest of this fourth quarter. Probably still too early to miss on purpose. Doesn't mean there won't be a ball to rebound here. Jones makes them both. Dinah Jones has been tremendous here in this fourth quarter comeback for Tulane. They haven't completed that comeback just yet. ECU hanging on to a 1-point advantage at home. About to get this ball back. But again, Tulane will have time to set up that full court pressure.
Well, I think they're going to take it at half court. They're going to take it in the quarter court, and it's a good move. It's a very good coaching move by her. They've been having trouble getting it down the floor, so now they can put it in the quarter court. The question is, do you put it? I'm not going to be negative about it. I'm just being real. Do you put it in Monk's hand, or do you put it in Frazier's hand? I don't know. I mean, maybe I'd put it in Monk's hand.
We've seen ECU, their last few possessions, struggle regardless of who's handling the ball. They feel that pressure even though they've yet to trail today.
Well, they're going to probably try to get a steal and then get a foul. And but just can they make the free throws?
Her name is Dinah Jones, the freshman out of the backyard of Tulane in New Orleans. Averages 7 points a ball game, has stepped up big here in the fourth. 15 points.
Oh, so they called that she fell out of bounds. That'd be great replay there. So she gets the ball, and
yep, that hand comes down. She's out of bounds. Does not get the bump called on Kayla Anderson, and that's a turnover. That means Tulane gets the ball, presumably to hold for the final shot in regulation.
Well, okay, in this situation, you're going to get a shot as quickly as you can, the best shot you can, and obviously something aggressive.
Yeah.
So you can get to the free throw line. There's plenty of time, and then you can get a second shot if you can get a rebound. So
should not be settling for anything around the perimeter, where Tulane today is just 3 of 13. You only need 2 points to potentially leave Greenville with a last-minute win.
Well, you're going to send everybody to the boards. Hopefully you'll have Crystal Freeman or this Dinah Jones involved in what you're doing, because those are both the players you go to.
Fourth quarter where Dinah Jones and this defense of Tulane finally able to take over, outscoring ECU 26-15 here in this final period.
Yeah, I think they're still talking about the last play when Monk thought she got pushed out of bounds. I don't see Monk just falling out of bounds for no reason. I mean, she did have her arm around her.
She was matched up with Kayla Anderson there, but she was assuming she would get that call as she braced herself.
I mean, here she is. She is getting a little bit pushed from behind, but it's probably a good no call. That's why I'm not an official.
It winds up being a turnover. Tulane, if they can make a shot, they are likely leaving with a miraculous comeback. Shot clock is off. Anderson Now the rebound, and credit Justice G for denying Tulane a chance to track that one down. Game's not over yet.
See if they take a timeout and put it in the quarter court. If they have another timeout left.
So no consequence for that turnover the last time down by LaShonda Monk officially when she felt she was pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, I just question that three-point shot. Just not a good shot for them.
They are going to take that timeout to advance the ball.
Yeah, that's the only move they have. But yeah, I question that shot because they had so many other good things going, driving to the hole. And you're down one.
If you're Tulane, you have to foul if you can't get the steal on the inbounds play, right?
Yeah, flat foul before it gets inbounds.
4.9 seconds remaining. ECU with the basketball for the inbounds. It'll be in the front court after taking this timeout. Pirates right now have G, Monk, Johnson, Williams, and Green in the ball game. Several of them would be desirable options if you're Tulane to foul and send to the charity stripe just based on season percentages.
Yeah, but sometimes, like late in the game, you can take the percentages and just throw them away because in the end, it's just who wants it. And I do think if Frazier gets there now, she's going to hit it.
How will this one play out? The Pirates are so close to having a victory to celebrate for just the second time in conference play. Again, last time we were here, UCF, one of the top 2 teams in the league, was in town. They pushed them to overtime. It was the Pirates coming back with a game-tying triple from Williams in the 4th. This has been a different story. Williams had those early 4 3-pointers. That got them out ahead. They have not relinquished that lead just yet. Tulane's going to need a quick foul, and Monk will go to the line. LaShonda Monk was probably one of the few you didn't want to send on the season. Makes about 3/4 of her free throws. Mind you, if she makes both of them, Tulane would still have a chance to tie. Do you consider missing the second one? Well, it's a moot point. Well, let's wait for this first one to begin our speculation.
No, I'd make them both. I don't ever consider missing a free throw. Because you're up 3, then they're going to have to hit a 3, but I get everybody off the line and not, you know, or do you foul them, you know,
right.
When they get it? Do you foul them?
There's so many philosophies to this.
I would foul them. I love the foul.
That way they can only shoot for 2. Well, now
I don't foul them.
3-pointer to win for Tulane. From half court, Manu Inirongi off the mark. Pirates survive. They split the regular season with Tulane. They snap a 5-game losing skid in this series to the Green Wave. And ECU, it all got started with those first 4 3-pointers from Ariana Williams, able to close it out. Frazier leading the way with her 19 points, one of 4 Pirates in double digits today.
Amazing comeback by Tulane. They're just a little short, but they gave it all they got and really made it a game in the 4th quarter.
Tulane now 4-4 in conference. ECU 2-6 in the league. Houston plays SMU later on tonight in Houston. This will open the window for them to try to climb up in the standings. But what a job by the Pirates, just able to hang on for that victory.
Well, you always wonder, could they keep the lead, and they, you know, they kept it for 3 quarters, but in that 4th quarter they got a little bit, they made a couple runs where they couldn't hit, and so it came back to haunt them.
Well, to the victors go the interviews with Marilyn Payne. Now let's check in with Marilyn.
Alex Frazier here with me. 19 points tonight, 11 of those in the second half. What was working for you once Ariana Williams got shut down?
Definitely keeping my teammates involved, because when they hit me in open spots because they were being covered, and they just did a great job helping me out. I owe all the credit to them.
What does playing from the lead that your team had tonight do for the confidence you had when you shot the ball?
It gave us tremendous confidence. When you can get up like that, it keeps you going. It makes you feel like you can do all that all game, and we've been struggling shooting, so coming out like that, it made us feel real hot.
a senior, how does this game rank for you, the way that your team was able to hold on to this win against Tulane, just your second conference win of the season?
It's big for us. It can lead great momentum into our conference tournament, which is great for us, so we're going to keep that stride and keep it moving on.
All right, congratulations. Thanks for your time, Alex.
Thank you.
And Coach, here with me, you emphasized defense at halftime and rebounding. Your team did win the rebound margin. How was your team able to be so effective on the glass today?
I think we were just tougher than them on the glass, and we came out with some tough defensive rebounds during that stretch.
And what was the key to holding on to this win in these final moments?
Execution and just making free throws. We had to make free throws at the end, and I think we just did a good job of that, kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. Where do you want to see your team grow from this win when you stumble to say they executed as well as they could have?
Yeah, they did execute a lot tonight, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And we just got to continue to get in the gym and make shots. We're working on just shooting, really. We had 3 shooting practices coming up into this game, so we're just going to continue to work on that and get better.
All right, last thing. What does this win show you about your team this season?
Nothing surprising, really. We know what we're capable of. Just going into this game, everybody was disappointed in the way that it was going, and we know we had to turn it around.
All right, congratulations. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations to Nicole Mueling and the Pirates as they knock off the Green Wave today here in Greenville. Next up for Tulane, they'll head back home, play USF this week. For these Pirates, they will square off against the UConn Huskies in a midweek matchup. For our entire American Digital Network crew, for Marilyn Payne, Angela Beck, I'm Lincoln Rose. ECU will take this one at home, where they are now 9-3 on the year in the friendly confines. 63-61 your final.